Hi there, welcome back to Abus and Beyond. Now, a few weeks ago we were here at Dormobile filming the incredible 1960s Dormobile Bedford Romany, and we asked for you to write in the comments if you were interested in looking at any other of the Dormobile range. That's why we are here to check out this incredible Land Rover Defender Dormobile camper van. So let's have a look. Right, so let's start at the front. So this is one of the last Land Rover Defenders of this shape anyway. Obviously you can get the new one, which is vastly different. This is one of the last. It's a 2016 Land Rover Defender, and this is a 110, so it's the longer of the two variants, ignoring things like 130s and pickups and all sorts. Now this actual one is Dormobile's own Defender, which has around about 1,000 miles on the clock, so quite a rare bit of kit really. Alternatively, if you have your own Defender, you can bring it to Dormobile and tell them what you want, and they will do a Dormobile conversion on that Defender. But let's start at the front. So the grille's been changed. This is actually a light up Dormobile logo, which is pretty cool. There's a checker plate all across the top there, so that you can actually stand on top of this and access the awesome roof rack that overhangs the front of the cab area. You can see the four white pack spotlights on there to give plenty of visibility at night time. And also, let's look around the side because you can also see an incredible snorkel as well. So safari snorkel, helpful for if you want to go wading underwater, but also for dusty climates like the desert. It just stops the dust going straight up in through the front there. If you're in the desert, it takes cleaner air from much higher up, so should eliminate the need to change your air filters quite so often. You can see that roof rack that we spoke about, so nice big strong roof rack just to give you a bit more storage for waterproof bags with things inside. Running boards along the bottom, and also you can see more of that checker plate that we spoke about. Nice big Masai windows, big panoramic windows, which because they're so dark, it actually looks like it's just panelling rather than the more traditional camper van style windows. These look a lot neater, and also you can see the black pop top as well, which we'll get to later on. Spare wheel on the back with the Dormobile spare wheel cover. Nice big spotlight up here. There's also a light here for when you're getting in and out of the back of the camper. Nice big strong steel step as well on the bottom there, with a tow bar on there as well. Also on the back, right down the bottom here, is your electrical hookup as well. And then finally on the passenger side, this is your access to your gas locker. This holds 2 camping gas 904 bottles as well, so plenty of gas on board for your cooking. Now, some of you may remember that we actually had a Defender 90 only a couple of years ago. It was only a 2-seater, so we had to get rid of it when the little one came along. But it's quite interesting comparing this to what ours was like. Ours was very much farmer spec. It was very basic inside. This is much higher spec than ours, mainly because it's got air conditioning. Who'd have thought a luxury like that in a Land Rover, hey? Only been a few minor changes really in the actual cab area. They'd like to try and keep it as authentic as possible. It's a Land Rover. People buy these vehicles because they like the utilitarian look of them. But what they have put in is a double DIN stereo, so it's an Alpine stereo system, just more advanced than the basic setup that you get in a Defender. Like I say, it's got air conditioning, electric windows. Ours had you had to do a workout to put the windows up in ours, but this is fancy. Also, to fit that double DIN stereo in, they've relocated some of the switches to the side here, which is all looks really, really neat. Actually, it's good. There will be some premium carpets coming, which they will fit before this goes on sale. And as you'd expect from Land Rovers of this era, manual gearbox, and this is to control the differential to lock out the diff. to make it more useful when you're actually off-roading. You've got your centre cubby hole, which you just pop up like that. So a bit of storage in the bottom there, also gives you somewhere to put your arm when you are travelling. And then behind that is a little cubby which houses all your electrical connections, so it's got some fuses in, that kind of thing. Nicely tucked away and easily accessible. One thing I do like, which we didn't have at all, is this black headliner. This makes it look very luxurious in here. Well, as luxurious as a Defender can be anyway. I'll tell you what, whilst I'm doing this VW Crafter conversion, I could only dream of having something like this with all the nuts and bolts. But I would be a bit like, shall I use a M10 by 25 or M10 by 40? Sport for choice, like pick and mix. Also, just to sort of explain about some of the work that goes into these, look at this Land Rover here that is completely stripped back. It's an original Dormobile, you can see the logo there, but if you look in the front here, you can see it's had a whole new galvanised chassis. That is a lot of work. But obviously we all want to see what it's like in the back here, in the actual camper habitation area, but before we do that we need to pop the pop top. So, nice heavy duty metal bolts there that pop down. That is nice and satisfying and very Land Rover. Also, before I put the roof up, I should just say there is actually a solar panel on the top there as well, which gives a nice bit of off-grid camping capability. But let's pop this roof.
Well, it's going to be my absolute pleasure to show you inside this incredible Land Rover. But before we do, just check out the canvas on the pop top. It actually matches the red of the van. I love that, little attention to details, but let's have a look inside. Well, welcome to what is actually a very spacious interior to this Defender. Rather than having two rear seats, they've actually put an L-shaped sofa in. Now that does mean that it's only got two seat belted seats, those are the front seats here. However, it does make it exceptionally comfortable when you're sat just chilling out and using it as a camper van. So everything is accessible from these seats here. You've got your Dometic double gas hob. You've got a cold running water sink that is fed by a 36 litre water tank that's just over the wheel arch. So plenty of space for cooking. I mean, that's the same as what's in the Californias, so that's great there. You've also got a Webasto top loading fridge. Very good size, again very similar to what's in the California Ocean, that kind of thing, although different location obviously. But how nice is this little area? I think it's fantastic. Like having everything accessible from sat down, but not just that. Look how high you can stand up. This is 8 foot. So if you want to stand in here, you can, but I'd probably recommend sitting down to cook because it's a better level for that. So above the kitchen area, you've got plenty of storage space. So you've got two locker-like cabinets. I quite like the fact that they've actually got lockable bits. That's very Defender. So making it very secure for all your things. Like, I imagine that this is going to be something that's used for maybe someone who's a photographer who wants to keep their equipment safely in here, that kind of thing. So it's nice to have everything with keys, but it feels very Defender in here. I do like that. So underneath the gas hob and sink, you've got these very utilitarian cabinets. The catches are made out of aluminium, so they're really strong. Then inside there you've got plenty more storage. You've also got a 1500 watt inverter in there, so obviously then you can use more power on a 3-pin plug off grid. Talking of which, that is actually here. So next to the kitchen area you've got one plug that will work off, well, both plugs will work off the mains, but one plug, the one on the left, will actually work off the inverter when you're off grid as well. You've also got your USB point. You've also got your battery levels shown here as well. You can turn that on, that turns the inverter on, and then it's also got an ABusAndBeyond diesel heater on board, so you get your nice heating, and that comes out of blown air heaters that are sort of underneath the seating unit here. So on the side of the kitchen there is also a whole bunch of switches. Now they haven't put signs on each of these switches to say what they are. Once you own a vehicle like this you get to learn it pretty quickly, but they do give you this handy little cheat sheet which will tell you all about what the switches individually do. So you've got the RGB lights, which is all the mood lighting underneath the kitchen. They've got how you turn on the lights, but each individual one is a touch light anyway, so you can switch them on and off as you're moving around the van. You've also got your 12-volt plug there and more USB, and also it tells you the voltage of the van. But yeah, that's all put on the side of the kitchen there. Underneath the switches you have the fill point for the water tank, and then underneath that as well you actually have a shower unit. So if you fancy a cold shower outside you can actually do it. More likely as you'll be like washing off the dog or muddy boots and things like that, but there is a shower plug-in part there that you can use, and then obviously have the hose outside. Now underneath that top loading fridge you actually have another little tiny cupboard. Now this is where the Victron battery charger is stored. Who doesn't love a Victron? Towards the front of the van there is actually more storage that's hidden underneath the seat here. Now one thing they can do is they could actually put a toilet in that storage space there, which might be quite useful for some people. Obviously it depends if that's what you want or not. In this case there's not one under there, and then obviously forward from that you've got the whole cabin area. Now on all the windows on the lower part there are sunshades that are already built in, and that goes on both sides. Also both of these windows do actually open, and then also towards the back of the van there are also speakers so that you can have your music on whilst you're chilling in here. So you'll notice that this is an L-shaped seating unit. This can also be changed into a bed, probably a double bed as well. So let me show you how that's done. Now who doesn't want to see a pregnant girl struggle to make a bed? But we're going to do it. So there is actually a catch towards the back. You pull that out. So it does just slide out. And then you'll notice there's another back piece here that is attached to a board that's also just on Velcro pieces here. Obviously it flips over.
You can do it.
I'll just use my massive weight to oh.
Belly's gonna get you.
Oh, don't make videos at whatever I am now, pregnant. 8 months, I can't remember. So this is actually a leatherette covering that they've put on this bit. It's all covered in this leatherette, but it does actually make it really comfortable, really soft. Obviously you'd probably put like a mattress cover or a topper or something on this as well, but I think it's a really good size. It's definitely long enough, and you can probably fit 2 people in here, so yeah, very impressive. So underneath the side seating and the bed there is actually loads more storage too, so you can access it actually from the back from this little cupboard here. And you can see it goes all the way down, but there are also access points to the side of that too, so when you're just using it as seating area, obviously that's underneath the seating area. But again, that's those aluminium catches, so really cool. So of course it's not just the downstairs bed, there is of course an upstairs bed as well that's in this enormous pop-top area. So it's actually split into 3 parts, the bottom of this bed, and well 4 if you include this little cutout bit. So they take a cutout bit out so that you can climb up into it, but the best way to make it up is to pull it forward whilst you've taken that cutout bit out, and then obviously pull the other board over too, so you can see how that's made up. And then at the end here you can actually see you've got these reading lights. There's one on each side. I think one of the best features though of this pop-top area has to be the fact that you've got these double windows, which is very Dormobile I think, because you saw that on the Romany van before, and now they've been putting it on their pop-tops as well, and I love it. Now they don't have the shades on, however they do have little poppers that you can suction cup shades onto there, but I mean, having that view out is amazing. So when you have the pop top down, you actually essentially have a panoramic roof as well. So when you're driving along, it's lovely. And it's not just the reading lights at the front you've got up here, you've also got another light, very bright, up the top here as well. So what do you think of this absolutely epic conversion? I really love this. I mean, obviously we're big Defender fans anyway, but I really think they've done a sterling job on this conversion. It's really very cool. So we think it's going to be around £89,000. It's not quite finished yet. There's a few finishing touches yet to be made. If you want to check it out, do check out Dormobile. We'll put a link in the description below so that you can ask about it if you're interested. It will be up for sale very soon, and what a van you're getting. I mean, bear in mind that the old Defenders, or this is essentially a brand new old style Defender, they're already going up in value anyway, so they're a bit of a collector's item. And then also on top of that, to have this sort of conversion, brilliant. If you're interested, do get in contact with Dormobile. Thank you very, very much for watching. We've really enjoyed doing this tour for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you've enjoyed it. It really helps the channel out, and we will see you very soon. Thanks very much. Bye.